megabits per second. Camera quality. Oh, drop ball. We'll take that. Just need a solid hit. That's all we need.
All right, welcome back to Grace Game Day again, as we, hopefully third time is a charm. Grace has the bases loaded with 2 away in the bottom of the first. Popped up just behind the pitcher's mound, and the third baseman puts it away, and that will end the inning. And so we're headed to the top of the second with Brook Hill leading Grace 4-0. And we'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
We're set for the top of the second. Leading off for Brook Hill's Jake Godbold. And he fouls the first pitch off at the plate. And I think that might have got a piece of Buchanan. Umpire walks out toward the mound, gives Wyatt a little bit of time to recover there. Fouled back into the screen. And now Godbold finds himself in a hole at 0-2. Swing and a miss. And he strikes him out on 3 pitches. And that brings Kyle DeHaseth to the plate. He is the pitcher tonight for Brook Hill. First pitch to him is a called strike. Etheridge working 0-1. Fouled off toward the Brook Hill on-deck circle, and it's 0-2. 1 down, top of the second. Brook Hill leading 4-0. breaking pitch, called strike 3, beautiful strikeout. Etheridge pulled a string on that one, and that bent perfectly over the strike zone and froze his counterpart. Dallas Clements steps in, and really nice pitch, called a ball. Outside corner strike call, evens the count at 1-1. Strike call on the inside corner. It's 1-2. Etheridge is set. And here's the 1-2. Fouled off. He fouled that off the handle of the bat. Steps out and adjusts his batting gloves. Etheridge kicks and delivers. Line toward first base, over the outstretched glove of Burton and into right field. So a 2-out base hit. Puts a runner on first for Brook Hill as Daniel Yates steps into the box. We want to thank you for joining us on Grace Game Day. Thank you for your patience with us as we worked through the never-ending network struggles here at the baseball fields. Ground ball, shortstop side, ranging as Wallace, backhands, but just so deep in the hole over there, nowhere to go with it. Speed of Yates gets him aboard. So runners at first and second now. Blake Witten coming to the plate. And time called at the plate. Everybody's ready. Foul ball. Hit sharply toward the Brook Hill on deck circle, and his teammate there on deck, Levi Visser, had to dodge out of the way. Looked like the movie Dodgeball when he had a wrench thrown at him. And time at the plate. Etheridge is being very deliberate right now, watching the lead runner at second. And those pauses are not settling well with the batter. Breaking pitch, throw down to third, throws it down the left field line. And the runner's going to score after a collision with Bentley.
And that would have been an out had that throw been on target.
Yeah,
it would have been in time.
He was definitely getting the throw there in time, but just sailed it. So now it's 5-0 Brook Hill. Hit into left field. Stinson over. He puts it away, and the side is retired, but Brook Hill scores another. And we've played 1.5, and it's 5-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney, as we are fixing to move into the bottom of the second inning. Brook Hill already with a 5-0 lead in this regular season finale. And technically, Grace still has a path to the playoffs. It would require a win tonight and then some help, and just some help that they're likely not to get, even if they dug out of this hole that they've got themselves in early and won this game tonight. There's just some other factors that come into play that are really unlikely. They need a couple of teams to win that are just probably not going to win their games. They need one team to win 3 out of their final 4 games, and it's just not a likely scenario there. So a lot of things would have to fall into place for this Grace team to make it to the playoffs. But, always, anytime you play Brook Hill, you're playing for pride. You're playing for bragging rights, crosstown bragging rights. So this is a big game for these kids tonight, even if it is the final game of the season for them, as Sanchez steps in to lead off here in the bottom of the second. Sanchez swings through that one, 0-1 the count. Emmanuel Sanchez, one of the seniors that was honored tonight. Only 2 seniors on this Grace baseball team. As he grounds one foul down the third base side, and a nice barehanded play by Coach Johnston over there. Fouled off and out of play, remains 0-2. So Sanchez, again, one of the 2 seniors, Sanchez and Colton Garrison. That pitch is high and outside. And so what you know from this is that this is a very, very young Grace baseball team. High and inside evens the count at 2-2. So a very young baseball team for the Cougars. Still some time to grow, mesh together, and become a good team as Sanchez goes down swinging. So now there's one away. It's going to bring up Sam Bentley. First pitch to him is a strike call. 0-1 the count. Bentley, the third baseman, swings and fouls that one off the catcher, it appeared. Looked like it actually was a 2-for-1 and got a piece of the catcher and the umpire. with the strike zone we've seen tonight, that is a dangerous take
Yep.
on a two-strike count.
I was just about to say that. Oof.
It was definitely a ball as Bentley swings through that one and goes down swinging. It was definitely a ball, but with some of the calls that we've seen tonight, there's
more than a 50% chance.
Yeah, there's been pitches that were balls, although they were strikes, and strikes, although they were balls, and that got Burton on the side of the helmet.
Just glad it didn't connect. Goodness.
Yeah, that was really close to skin. I think it actually got him on the bill of his helmet. So
Yeah,
we're talking just another quarter of a width of a baseball, and he's catching that one flush in the face. And I think now it's the adrenaline is wearing off, and now the birds are maybe starting to chirp a little bit. But I'm going to tell you this, Burton's a tough kid.
Yeah, he is.
It's not the first time we've seen him get dinged. And he stays in the game. It's a tough kid. Back to the top of the order now with David Wallace at the plate. Quick throw over, Burton dives back in. Here's the pitch. High, ball one. Hit down the left field line, tailing away and foul. Oh, not by much.
No. Oh, man, so close. I think that one would have at least gotten Burton to third, depending on if he's able to field that.
One and one the count. Looped toward the second baseman. He's there and he's got it. And the side is retired. So Grace comes up empty, and we're headed to the third. 5-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me is Josh McElhaney. Levi Visser leading off for Brook Hill. Rips the first pitch foul down the first base line. And these coaches are showing off.
Yeah, they are.
Showing off the hands.
A little anything you can do, I can do better going on out here. If anybody remembers the old Michael Jordan commercials.
I remember that. Fouled off out of play. 0-2 the count to Visser. Looped into left field. Stinson goes back. He's there, and he puts it away. I apologize. I believe that's Sanchez. Is that Sanchez in left field or not Sanchez in left field? So Sanchez puts it away. One away. And now Leighton Waters. That's a ball outside. That pitch twists Waters out of the way. Fouled at the plate. 2-1 the count. Breaking ball stays high, so it's a 3-1 count now to Waters. Ground ball, shortstop side. Wallace charges, fields on a hop, throws, and he got him. So 2 away now. Brings Ben Bratz to the plate. Strike call inside corner. 0-1. Etheridge kicks and fires. Goes right back to the same spot. 0-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. And down goes Bratz, and the side is retired. We're going to the bottom of the third. 5-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney. Buchanan, Etheridge, and Bigby due up in this inning. Grace trying to get on the scoreboard. Laced into left field. But right at the left fielder, takes just a couple of steps back. A well-struck ball by Buchanan, but Levi Visser there to make it the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away. Now Etheridge comes to the plate. Strike call to Etheridge. Off the handle of the bat in the shallow center, and it drops for a hit.
Nice.
So 1 on with 1 out now. Noah Bigby coming to the plate. Throw over Etheridge with a short lead at first. Dives back safely. Here's the pitch. Outside for a strike. 0-1 the count. He goes back to the same spot, and it's a ball. If you're a hitter, you're just guessing up here. It's 1-1 the count. Ground ball, foul, third base side. So the count goes 1-2 to Bigby, and so now a 2-strike count. You got to protect the plate and the flower bed around the plate.
It'll make you hold your breath.
My breath literally caught as that pitch came in. 2-2 the count. Fouled away at the plate. So it's a 2-2 count. And fighting and staying alive is Bigby. Fouls it off, and we'll do 2-2 again. Colton Garrison waiting on deck. Grace trying to make a little bit happen. Quick throw over to first. Etheridge gets back standing. The pitch high and outside. They fake a throw down to first. Count runs full, so Etheridge will likely be going on the pitch here. The payoff pitch, Etheridge stays, grounded right back to the pitcher, off his glove, and it's going to be 1 out at second. That ball went off the pitcher's glove, under the shortstop's glove.
Makes you wonder if he ran that one out. I think he assumed that they just caught it. He kind of stopped running, and ball kept bouncing around.
Yeah. Quick throw over. Bigby just gets back in. Another throw over, and he's safe. Now we get a pitch to Garrison, high for a ball. So now we're going to get a little visit to the mound. And they're pulling him. They're pulling him early. So only 2 2/3 innings for the starter tonight for Brook Hill. I think I've been wrong all night long. I've been saying that Kyle DeHaseth was on the mound for Brook Hill, and now he is. So maybe I was telling the future that it was Leighton Waters apparently was on the mound to start tonight. And yeah, I had that all wrong. So nothing wrong with me at all. Pitching change here at Grace Community. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. It's a 1-0 count to Garrison as he steps back in, and Kyle DeHaseth comes in to pitch now for Brook Hill. Bigby at first. Here's the 1-0. Hit into right field, falling, and drops for a hit. Bigby around second, headed for third. Here's the throw, and he is out by 3 strides. So that will end the inning. Grace comes up scoreless. We are headed to the 4th. 5-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney, and we are moving now to the top of the 4th inning. And Etheridge starts this off against Connor Hayes with the ball. The 1-0. Inside, ball 2. strike call. So it is now a 2-1 count. Popped up. Right off the pitcher's mound, third base side. Etheridge is there, and he puts it away. So 1 away now. And Jake Godbold coming to the plate. High, ball 1. Foul tipped at the plate, evens the count 1-1. One ball, one strike, 1 away. 5-0 the score. Fouled off down the left field line. That gets out of play. Count is 1-2. Etheridge kicks and fires. Popped up, foul territory. Bentley giving chase, but it's going to get over the fence and out of play. So 1-2 the count remains. Godbold steps back in, left-handed batter. Here's the 1-2. Lined into right field, and it's falling and gets past Garrison. Godbold headed for second. He's going to stop there. As Garrison got caught in no man's land of, do you go after the catch or do you lay up and let it bounce to you? And just got caught in between.
Yeah, I thought it was a tough place to be.
Garrison, one of the seniors for this Grace Cougars baseball team. The seniors bookending the outfield tonight. Emmanuel Sanchez in left field. Colton Garrison in right field. Throw back to second. He's back safely.
Almost caught him not paying attention.
Yeah, Godbold seemed like he had a little bit of a delayed response getting back there. I think Etheridge checked and then paused long enough that Godbold thought he wasn't going to come to him, and then he did. High chopper to Wallace, charges, fields it belly high, throws and gets him. Nice play there by David Wallace. So now that brings Dallas Clements to the plate. Runner at third, 2 away. Ground ball. And lunging out of the way is Daniel Yates in the on-deck circle. And that pitch gets by Buchanan. And Godbold comes home. 6-0 is the score. So 1-1 the count. The bases are now clear. Okay. It was I mean, the pitch was outside, and I thought I heard him say, "Hip," but then he didn't make a motion.
Oh.
And he throws that one off the. And I don't think the umpire realizes it hit him.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Dallas looked back at the umpire and motioned in the dirt, 3-2. Now, part of the reason I think that hit him is because in his left pants pocket in the back, he has his sliding protection stuffed into that pocket. And I think it glanced off of that, but I mean, technically that is part of the player, and he should have been awarded first base. But he'll take it now as that ball comes in high, ball 3. And now we're going to have a visit to the mound. Coach Kraft making the jog out there to the hill. So while Grace takes a meeting at the mound, we'll take a break. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. Daniel Yates stepping in. Slade Etheridge still on the mound for the Cougars. Runner goes. Buchanan throws down to second in time, and he got him.
Good throw.
Buchanan guns him down to end the half inning. And so now we're headed to the bottom of the fourth. 6-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I want to say thank you to Joel Adams. Joel Adams and his family sponsored Grace Game Day this year. Joel Adams is the he's really the man with the investment side of things at Southside Bank. And if you got anything that you need done with some investments, I would encourage you, schedule an appointment and sit down and talk with Joel or one of the members of his team. And they'll take good care of you. Thank them for their support to Grace Game Day this year. Also, Biomax Spray Foam Insulation. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. And also Jordan Boos, Texas Oncology. Jordan Boos, of course, part of the Grace community as well. And we appreciate her support of Grace Game Day. So now we're ready for the leadoff batter here, Caleb Burgess. He swings through strike one. Then he looks at strike two, finds himself in a hole at 0-2. Sanchez waiting on deck. Breaking pitch, strike three call. That had a big swooping action to it. And Burgess goes down on strikes and brings senior Emmanuel Sanchez to the plate. Strike call to Sanchez. If you are a right-handed batter, swinging and miss Sanchez. If you're a right-handed batter tonight, it almost would feel like if it's going to come anywhere between the first base dugout and the plate, you should probably be prepared to swing. And then he just left me hanging. 1-2 the count.
Spoke way too soon.
You know, we're just having fun. Right? Here's the pitch inside, and he really just pulled the barrel inside, but chased down by the shortstop, 2 away. So now that brings Hunter Lopez. Ground ball fair down the first base line. And the first baseman will take it himself. And it is a 1-2-3 inning for Brook Hill. We're headed to the 5th. 6-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney. Noah Bigby on the mound. Slade Etheridge moves to third. Bentley goes to second. And in case you're a football fan, Roger Goodell is walking to the podium right now to announce the first pick of the 2026 NFL Draft.
And if you're on Twitter, you already know who that pick is.
Yeah, right. Bigby's first pitch, grounded up the middle, base hit. And as the nation is shocked, Fernando Mendoza goes as the first overall pick. Strike call on the outside corner. Burton looked down at first base as Yates had a straight away from the bag over there. You know, Josh, talking about this first overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, Bigby's pitch is a attempted bunt and miss. Did he call that a ball? Okay.
Oh, no.
0-2.
He just didn't. Yeah, he didn't say anything.
Throw over to first. Josh, talking about Mendoza, I think it's pretty cool that, just knowing that you're the #1 overall pick, but choosing to stay home and celebrate the moment with his family. I think that's a cool moment. Not that there's anything wrong as a swing and a miss there. And Burton throws it down to Wallace at shortstop.
That was kind of a wild swing and a miss.
Yeah, that pitch was tailing away, and he went lunging after it. But I do think it's neat. Again, not that there's anything wrong with going to the location of the draft and being in the green room and just enjoying all the pomp and circumstance. I think that's a life moment right there for sure. But it is neat for Mendoza to want to do this with his family and stay home. 0-1 the count. So Fernando Mendoza out of the University of Indiana led Indiana to a national championship. And I'll just say this. I never would have dreamed that I would see the Indiana Hoosiers win a football championship in my lifetime. That is certainly not something that was never on my bingo card.
No, not at all.
Bigby set. Long hold. Here's the 0-1. Yates fakes going. And so if you are interested in the draft, the Jets are now on the clock. Lined into right center field, and it gets in the gap. Yates around second. He's headed for third. The throw goes to third, and that allows Visser to cruise into second with a double. So now runners at second and third, and still only one away. And a check swing foul. Leighton Waters at the plate.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, the Jets pick. That wasn't on my bingo card either. Bigby's pitch. Pulled a string, swing and a miss. Nice pitch there from Bigby. And the count goes to 0-2. That breaking ball bends outside. Outside even for tonight's strike zone. 1-2. Yeah, the Jets taking a defensive lineman, edge rusher, David Bailey from Texas Tech. And
He was a good player.
yeah, good player. I didn't have that on my bingo
No.
card either. Not for the second overall pick. 2-2 the count as Bigby's pitch comes in high. I will say, though, talk about a moment that changes your life. That pitch gets a little bit away from Burton, not far, but the count goes full. Talk about a moment that changes your life when you, in the moment of time, you realize you're fixing to move from Lubbock, Texas to New York City.
Yeah.
3-2. The count is full. And the payoff pitch fouled off into the screen. Leighton Waters stays alive. Here's the pitch. Foul tipped into the mitt. Burton hangs on. Waters is retired. So now 2 away. And 2 runners are still in scoring position. That bends right into the strike zone. Ben Bratz watched it tail in for strike 1. The 0-1 fouled off out of play. 0-2 the count now to Bratz. I think me reminding people of the draft, our viewership just cut in half. Ground ball. Wallace charges, scoops and throws high. And 2 runners are going to score. As it's now 8-0 Brook Hill. Jace Schneider coming to the plate. Those moments right there are tough when you have the moment to get out of an inning. And one throw allows a couple of runners to score and the inning to continue. Schneider is in. And Bigby delivers. Outside, ball 1. So now the Cardinals are on the clock for the 3rd overall pick of the draft. quick throw over to first. Back safely. Runner goes, hit into shallow center. Burgess charging. No, it's not Burgess. Just kidding. That's Dylan Stinson that came in to center field. I did not notice when that change took place, but that's the third out. And so now we're headed to the bottom of the fifth. It's 8-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. Ethan Burton to lead off for the Cougars as the Cardinals pick is in, and number 3 overall in the draft, they take Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. Highest running back pick since Saquon Barkley. Is that correct, Josh? That's what you said?
Yep, in 2018.
Saquon Barkley in 2018 went number 2 overall. Burton swings through that first one, 0-1.
Ezekiel Elliott went 4 and 16. Leonard Fournette went 4 and 17. Ashton Genty went 6th last year. And Bijan Robinson went 8th and 23.
Breaking ball, strike 2 call. Running back position does not get the value that it once did, but there are some teams over the last few seasons that still make that reach. Low and away, ball 1. 1-2 the count to Burton. So it makes you wonder what the Cardinals will do now as Burton strikes out. What will the Cardinals do now? Josh, you mentioned, it's a very valid point. What do you do at quarterback if you're the Cardinals? Do you try to get a quarterback late? This is not really a quarterback deep draft, so it's not like you can bank on finding a really good quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yep, unless they trade back in or...
1-0 the count. So now with number 4 overall, as it goes to a 1-1 count. Number 4 overall, the Titans are on the clock. Ground ball. Just foul. That wasn't foul by much.
No. We need a camera down each foul line. We need about 5 cameras.
Breaking ball slapped right back up the middle, a base hit. David Wallace is aboard. Wyatt Buchanan steps into the plate. You know, since we're talking football on a baseball broadcast, Grace still in this game. All we need is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. And that pitch is low, ball 1. Wyatt Buchanan Slade Etheridge waiting on deck. Quick throw over. Burgess gets back in safely. Grounded foul. One and one. Breaking ball. Buchanan out in front of it, fouls it off. 1 and 2. That ball gets by the catcher. And so Burgess will cruise in to second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still 1 away in the inning. That is Wallace at second. You know what, Mr. Bentley? You told me earlier that it was the network stuff. That's what it is. That's what's got me all messed up tonight. It's the networks. That's why I don't know who's who and what's what and where's where. Who's on first? I do know it's still Wyatt Buchanan at the plate. Swings through that one, down on strikes. So now Etheridge comes to the plate with a runner on second and 2 down in the inning. Grounds one, third base side, fielded by the third baseman. Long throw across, and he gets him. So we're through 5 here at the Grace Upper Campus. Brook Hill 8, Grace 0. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day for the start of the 6th inning. Bigby remains on the mound for Grace. Jake Godbold coming to the plate to lead off. Carnell Tate goes number 4 overall to the Titans, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Bigby's pitch. Fouled off, out of play, down the left field line. Ohio State has produced some really great wide receivers over the last few years. The 0-1. Low evens the count at 1-1. The pitch. Low and gets away from Burton. 2-1 the count. So a lot of talk, Josh, about the Cowboys trading up from pick number 12. And the pick is now at number 5 overall, and no signs of movement yet.
Well, Browns are trading. Oh, they traded number 6 to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs are moving up.
Strike call. That'll be interesting. Chiefs in I guess what you call a minor rebuild. Here's the payoff pitch. Ground ball. Takes a weird hop to Buchanan. He handles it well. One away in the inning. Nice play by Buchanan. Yeah, that the Chiefs are in, like I said, a little bit of a minor rebuild. But let's just also face it and say this, that anytime you've got Patrick Mahomes on your team, you've got a chance. But they need to kind of reload a little bit for the rest of that roster. Inside ball 1 to DeHaseth. It'll be interesting to see what the Chiefs do there, trading up to the number 6 overall. Two and 0 the count. Josh, if you're the Chiefs, what do you go after at number 6? Your biggest need.
I don't know. They've
Ground
lost
ball.
some defensive players.
Bentley gobbles it up, sends it over to first. 2 away.
Offensively, they've kind of struggled the last couple of years. But you've spent draft picks on Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. I don't know. They obviously have a plan because they gave up 9, 74, and 148.
So they traded up from 9 to 6 and gave up 2 additional picks with it. They want something bad.
Yep.
And it's something that they're afraid is not going to last 3 more picks. Strike call. 0-1 the count. Dallas Clements. That's a good pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-1 the count, 2 away. High, ball 2. And those of you that are watching, you didn't know that you were going to get to tune in to Grace Game Day and watch the Grace Cougars play baseball and get draft coverage from the NFL. You did not know, but here you are. We're glad that you're here. Bigby kicks and fires. Breaking ball, and it's got the barrel on that one, sends it to the gap, and it's past him to the wall. Clements with some speed, heading for third. Now he slams on the brakes. So Clements with a double. And now we'll get a pinch runner for him. Grant Gandy running for him. So now Daniel Yates comes to the plate. 2 away in the inning and a runner on second. Bigby delivers. Fouled off out of play. 0-1 the count to Yates. Twitter is so wild. Twitter has already got the Chiefs pick posted at number 6. And right now on TV, the Giants pick is still fixing to be announced at number 5. And it still shows Cleveland picking at number 6.
Arvell Reese. Giants at number 5. Edge rusher linebacker from Ohio State.
Yep. He's a good one.
He is. That's not good for the Cowboys.
No, it's not. Snap throw to second. He just gets back.
Close.
Bigby is ready. Here's the pitch. Outside. So the count is 2-1. Low, ball 3. Three and 1 to Yates. Swing and a miss, and the count runs full. Swing and a miss. Bigby pulled a string, and he got him. So the side is retired. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Still 8-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. It is the bottom of the 6th. Noah Bigby leading off. DeHaseth still on the mound for Brook Hill. Grace down 8-0. Ball 1. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Grace Game Day tonight. Thank you for making us part of your evening. Low, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Bigby. Garrison waiting on deck. And that's a ball. 3-0. And then that one's called a strike. Ball 3 was closer to the strike zone than that one was. 3-1 the count to Bigby. And he fouls that one off, so now the count runs full. The payoff pitch. Fouled off at the plate. Bigby stays alive. So the Chiefs go defense. Take the cornerback out of LSU. So that's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised they gave up that much to move up there.
Yeah, to get, I mean, Delane played 3 seasons at, was it Virginia Tech, I believe? And then he transferred to LSU. And he's a good player. That's strike 3 call. That's just giving up a lot to get him. So now Colton Garrison comes to the plate in what truly could be his last at bat in a Cougar uniform. Fouled off at the plate. Ball, that one gets away from the catcher. It's 1-1.
The ESPN broadcast is on what pick?
I've got the ABC broadcast on, and they're just about to, well, it says the Commander's pick is in. It's not been announced.
What pick number?
That's number 7.
And Twitter's already announced pick 8. I don't understand.
Ground ball, back up the middle, base hit for Garrison.
Way to go. Senior night, big hit.
Atta boy.
Regardless of what happens, his last high school at bat potentially being a hit is pretty cool.
Now Burgess steps in. Quick throw over. Garrison is back. fouled off. 0-1 the count to Burgess. Burgess with a base hit in his last at bat. Swing and a miss. That breaking pitch had some bite on it. The 0-2. Went back to the curveball and got him swinging. So now 2 away, and it's Emmanuel Sanchez coming to the plate. Sanchez, the other senior, in what is likely his last at bat in a Cougar uniform. Neat moment right now for the seniors. Senior Colton Garrison, the base runner on first. Senior Emmanuel Sanchez at the plate. And that pitch goes over his head and to the wall. Garrison will take second. So 1-0 the count. So Sonny Stiles goes to Washington, linebacker out of Ohio State. That was a lot of the chatter for the Cowboys, that they were looking at trading up to get Sonny Stiles. Tries to check his swing, but he goes around. So 1-1 the count to Sanchez. King Monster sell the team now. Are you referring to the Cowboys? I just saw your comments. I don't know who we were talking about when you said that. If you're referring to the Cowboys, I could not agree more. Swing and a miss. Sanchez goes down on strikes, and the inning is over. We head to the 7th. 8-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game? Or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor, with me Josh McElhaney. We are here for the start of the 7th inning, and senior Emmanuel Sanchez on the mound for the Cougars. Fouled off. 0-1 the count. Low and inside, ball 1. Count is even at 1-1. Swung on and looped into left center for a base hit. And Blake Witten is aboard. Levi Visser to the plate. Fouled back into the screen. 0-1 the count. Ground ball, second base side. Buchanan gets there and throws it behind Sanchez, trying to cover, and Witten is going to go to third. So now there's runners at the corners and nobody out. And that's going to bring Leighton Waters to the plate. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Waters at the plate. Sanchez delivers, bunt down the third baseline. Nice bunt. And Slade's throw goes wide of first. Garrison has to chase it down. Safe at second, and the runner is going to score from third.
You can't execute that any better if you're Brook Hill.
So both runners score. That makes it 10-0. Now we got a runner on second base. Ben Bratz comes to the plate. So Bratz steps in. Runner in scoring position at second. Sanchez checks that runner and comes home. Low and away, ball 1. So now on the TV broadcast, the Saints pick at number 8 is about to be announced. That ball bounces in, goes to the wall, and the runner cruises into third base. That's Grant Gandy running. It's 2-0 the count. So the Saints go with Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State, which wide receiver was a big need for the Saints. That's a fair ball. Sanchez flips to Buchanan for the out. I thought he foul tipped it off himself into fair territory.
Twitter's already on pick 10. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, pick 8 just got announced. Sanchez delivers. Etheridge with a nice scoop. Throws him out as the runner scores, making it 11-0. But Slade Etheridge with a nice short hop fielder over there at third base. Strong throw across. 2 away. Sanchez pitch, strike 1 call. Jake Godbold at the plate. Here's the 0-1. Lined. Bentley stabs at it, not able to get to it. Into right field for a base hit as Garrison sends it back in. So now Kyle DeHaseth coming to the plate. Sanchez bounces it in at the plate. Low ball 2. And it gets by Burton. Base runner goes to second. Popped up down the left field line, ranging out of play. Two and one the count. Sanchez steps off. Lined into left center, a base hit. Godbold around third, headed home, and he's going to score without a throw. So now Coleman Krim comes to the plate. Getting a pinch runner here for Brook Hill. Jackson Berryhill comes in to run for DeHaseth. Now Coleman Krim steps into bat. Ball 1-0. Slow ground ball right hand side. Bentley charges, throws, got him. And the side is retired. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th. 12-0 Brook Hill. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
They picked 12, or allegedly. We'll see
Caleb
what they
Downs
do.
is still on.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney. Bottom of the 7th. Baseball season is about to come to a close for Grace. And the 2025-2026 school year for Grace Game Day is about to come to a close as well. We have thoroughly enjoyed bringing you Grace Cougars action, and we look forward to being back with you when school returns for the 26-27 school year. We look forward to being there to get your school year kicked off with volleyball and football.
Cowboys have traded up to 11.
Oh, boy.
It's Caleb Downs, isn't it?
I think it's Caleb Downs. It's got to be.
He's.
And at that point,
I'm happy.
At that point, you're worried Miami takes him. But I don't know. That's odd because if Miami was going to take him, they wouldn't trade the pick away.
Well, I think it's kind of a thing where their guy was there 1 pick ahead of them. They weren't going to lose out.
Sam Bentley at the plate. High and inside, ball 1. Well, the Cowboys pick says it's already in. That didn't take long. They announced the trade, and then almost immediately it said the Cowboys pick was in. Yeah. And it is going to be inside ball 1. The safety for from Ohio State, Caleb Downs, is about to be a Dallas Cowboy. Swung on and fouled off at the plate. 2-1 the count to Bentley. What did they give up to get up to that one spot?
I haven't seen yet.
Maybe they traded Jerry and Steven.
We could be so lucky.
3-1 the count to Bentley. High ball 4, and Bentley draws the walk.
Good patience.
So now Ethan Burton comes to the plate. Bentley aboard at first to lead off the inning. Nobody out.
Cowboys are sending picks 12, 177, and 180.
Burton flies out to shallow left field. Bentley returns to first, 1 away. Say that again, Josh. Picks 12.
Cowboys basically swap 12 to 11 and give up the pick 177 and 180.
That's just...
They've definitely needed safety's been an issue for years.
They've needed, yeah. You know, I remember back in the day we thought Roy Williams was going to be the answer at safety, and he was a hard hitter, and that was fun. And he was a pretty decent safety for a few years, but...
Yep, and with Trayvon Diggs getting cut and Bland having a down year, they've done a good job shoring up their defensive line. They should be pretty formidable in the run game.
That ball bounces away, and Bentley takes off for second base. So now the count is 2-1 to Wallace. And am I crazy, or do the Cowboys also have a pick later in the first round?
Yeah, they have pick 20.
20. That's what I was thinking. Strike call to Wallace. 2-2 the count. Buchanan waiting on deck. Tried to check a swing. Couldn't make it. So now Wyatt Buchanan comes up. There's 2 away. Grace is down to their final out. Here's the pitch to Buchanan. Skips it in. It gets away, but rolled toward the third base side, so Bentley stayed put. Here's the 1-0. Popped up. And it's going to get out of play.
Still alive.
1-1 the count, 2 away. Strike call. That had some major bend. Etheridge waiting on deck. 1-2 to Buchanan. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. They'll throw down to first. And that'll be your ball game. So the final score tonight from Grace Community Cougar Baseball Field is Brook Hill 12, Grace 0. It's been a fun season. Very young Grace Cougars baseball team. Only 2 seniors going to be graduating from this team. So definitely some things to build on and move on to next season. We'll be looking forward to it. It has been a pleasure bringing you Grace Cougars athletics for this school year. We want to thank you for your support, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for letting us be part of your world, and we appreciate that so much. It's been our pleasure to bring you the action. So we're going to sign off one last time for this school year. We'll be back for the next school year. Volleyball and football will get us started. Thanks for tuning in. Until August. So long, everybody.